What's up, guys? It's Max. I haven't made a video in a while, so I started writing down video ideas on this notepad. If you've ever made videos, if you've ever tried to be, you know, tried to make videos in the past, posted on YouTube, you've probably done something similar. So I got four video titles in, and one really struck a chord. I couldn't stop thinking of it as soon as I wrote that down. So I really wanted to share this with you. But before I do that, well, first of all, it's a phrase that really just tricks my trips my trigger. I just can't stand hearing it. And anytime anyone ever says this phrase to me or around me, I have to stop them. I have to tell them. Well, I'll get into what the phrase is, all that stuff in just a second. So if you haven't seen any of my videos, my name is Max Crone. I have, like all of us, we've been through our fair share of adversity. I have, before the age of 23, I went through a spinal cord injury. I went through my brother being sent to jail. I have, and just as soon as we were getting close, and I have been through two pretty severe car accidents. So this kind of, I don't know, allows me to understand adversity in a different way, and that is what this channel is all about. Is trying to persuade people into believing that adversity isn't something that I believe people should not welcome. So with that being said, the topic of today's video is this phrase, one of my least favorite phrases, and one that I cannot stand hearing. And that phrase is, I could never do that. Coming from, recovering from my injury, for example, I heard so many people say, oh, I could never do that. I could never, I was completely paralyzed from the neck down. And 3 months later ish, right around 3 months later, I was walking to, at some capacity, I was walking with weight assisted. I was moving my legs enough to, hold some of my weight up and perform the action of walking, which to a lot of people was kind of crazy at that time, given my injury. And some people know how much I worked, every single day getting back to that stage. Some people don't. But no matter who I talk to, it seems like one in every two people said, "Oh, I can never do that." And at first, it didn't sit right. It never sat right with me. But at first, I was like, "Oh, whatever. I won't say anything about that. It's not that big of a deal." Like, even though I don't feel okay with them saying that, it just didn't sit right with me. And eventually, I started saying, like, to people that are maybe a little bit closer to me, I started saying, yes, you can. It's just a matter of perspective. And when you're in that situation, you only have one way to go. You have two options. You have the option of pity, and you have the option which leads you to being more negative, and now you think that this potential, you don't think that there's potential for growth. You don't think that there's potential for a recovery because you heard, oh, I'm paralyzed, that's it. But if you like I said, you only have two options. The other option is to say, hey, what do I have to lose? And so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to work every single day. I'm going to work, I'm going to try to work every waking hour, essentially, to achieve my goal, which is in whatever situation, whatever your goal is. At that time, my goal was to realize the most amount of potential out of my recovery. Full stop. Like that was my mission those 4 or 5 months that, after my injury. And so, like I said, going back to the phrase, whenever anyone said I can never do that, now it's and this was February 14th, 2022. That's when my injury happened. It's December 20th, 2024, getting close to 2025. Pretty crazy, almost leading up to the 3 year. But it took me months, maybe even a year, maybe even more than a year to kind of develop this reaction to this phrase that people say around me, and now it's just I can't stand it. And I just want to not only persuade you, the viewer, to understand that you can do anything. You really can. Of course, there are physical limitations. At some point, you can't grow wings and fly, but we can only figure out whether or not it's possible if we try our absolute hardest. And like I said, this goes for any goal that you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, that is the phrase that I can't stand hearing. And I would encourage you to, if you have this belief, if you catch yourself saying, because I have caught myself saying, wanting to say I could never do that, and I've went back on that. I'm like, I tell people, yes you can, yes you can, yes you can. So, and I've caught myself almost saying that, and I'm thinking in my head, and I have even said this. I have said I could never do that, but then just out of reaction, and then I change it, and I say, I could, but yeah, and it just kind of creates a little bit of a weird situation. But I feel like I play it off okay. But yeah, you really can do anything, and if you get anything out of any of my content, it's that positivity leads to persistence, and persistence leads to growth, and pity leads negativity, and pity just leads to complacency and pessimism and hopelessness, really. And hopelessness leads to quitting. Quitting leads to not realizing that goal, not even having a fighting chance, not even having a dog in the fight. Gives you absolutely no chance to accomplish your goal. So, like I said, if you take anything out of my content, just remember, positivity leads to persistence, persistence leads to growth. All right. Have a good day. I will see you in the next video.